Hey, y'all. Welcome. Listen, um, let me get this going. Let me see if we can set this up. Okay. Are we live? Are we live? So, wait a minute. We might need to change this. Hold on. Okay, so I'm live. Okay, I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on TikTok. I'm not live on IG. Let me see. It says, but I am. Okay. I guess I am. Let me see something. Okay. All right. Y'all gotta holler at me. Let me know. Okay, I think we're good. We're good. Okay, perfect. So I just want to go ahead and open this up and let you guys know that this live is talking about consistency, having consistency without burnout. Okay, so if you see me looking at two screens, I just want to let you know I am live on all platforms right now. Okay, so I'm live on all platforms. And so if I'm looking here, that means I'm on TikTok. If I'm looking here, that means I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So, okay, bear with me. But this is going to be good because I'm talking about to you today consistency, being consistent without having burnout. So if you've stopped and started more times than you can count, I need you to stay with me, okay? Because I'm going somewhere. All right. Are you consistent or constantly restarting? That was me. Okay. Especially with my workout routine and regimen and my workout rhythm. I kept starting and stopping, starting and stopping. All right. And so today, I just want to encourage you and I want to lean in because I want to let you know that aligned action creates sustainable stewardship. Again, whenever you are aligned action creates sustainable stewardship. Okay. And so if you're obedient, but you're overworked, if we have to put faithfulness right over fast. And then we have to be steady instead of being stressed. So action with God feels grounded. It always feels grounded. It's never going to feel like stress, pressure, and it's not going to be frantic. Okay. So again, I want to tell you this story where I first started, when I first started my podcast. When I first started podcasting back in, back in 2022. We're now in 2026. So when I first started podcasting back in 2022, I was all in. I was like, okay, Lord, it's me and you doing this. And if you know me, if you've been rocking with me since day one, the podcast was called Let Love Be Your Guide. And so in the process of having Let Love Be Your Guide, I was taping shows. I was putting the podcast out there. I was doing everything. I was the camera woman. I was the marketer. I was promoting. I was editing the videos. I was doing all the things. And it was like, okay, God, this is all for your glory. This is all for you. However, I really use that momentum. So what happened was I had the momentum for my podcast. However, I didn't have the sustainability. I hadn't become the person to maintain my podcast. That's the thing. So for me, I got burnt out really, really quickly. And so I podcasted for about a year and a half doing the same schedule. I mean, I had my Monday, I was actually doing the videos. Tuesday, I was editing the videos. Wednesday, I was doing something else. So I had an ideal week. However, I was burning myself out and I didn't have rest. Okay. But God showed me that there is peaceful progress that lasts longer than pressure productivity. Again, peaceful progress lasts longer than pressured productivity. What does that mean? I was so in the use to just doing that I was pressuring myself. I was like, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to maintain my schedule. I have to be busy, but I wasn't resting, right? I didn't stop to actually sit with God, to sit in his presence, to really know that he was going to sustain me. He was wanting to make me into the person that I could sustain the blessing, that I could sustain the vision. And I think that's where a lot of us get caught up. We pray for things. We're like, Lord, I want this. I want that. But can we sustain the promise? And so what was happening was, although I was doing all these things for my podcast, I was basically having the business. I had the radio show. Okay. I was on internet radio and I couldn't sustain it. A year and a half of just going, but not resting and consulting God and asking him, okay, Lord, what do I need to be doing in this season? And not knowing the season that I was in, it shook my world. And so that's why I'm so passionate about teaching as many women as possible, or just in general, because I feel like men can take from this as well, but teaching as many people as possible how to know the season that they are in and thrive through it. Okay. And so let's talk about this peaceful progress. I want to ask you a question though. Does consistency feel heavy for you right now? I want you to drop it in the chat, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, on Instagram. So, does consistency feel heavy for you right now? If your consistency feels heavy, I want to take a moment and ask you to evaluate your schedule, evaluate your list. What exactly feels heavy right now? I want you to drop it in the chat. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Zakia. Hey, is that Saritha? You guys come on in, okay? Today, I am definitely talking about how consistency without burnout, how to stay consistent but not be burnt out. Okay. So that's what we're talking about today. Okay. All right. So a question again, go ahead and drop it for me. Does consistency feel heavy for you right now? Does it feel heavy for you right now? Okay. Guys, and the reason why I'm switching back and forth is because I'm on multiple platforms streaming. Okay. All right. And so if it feels heavy for you right now, I want to let you know that it doesn't have to be like that. Okay. And that God doesn't reward hustle, but he rewards stewardship. Okay. And stewardship is just managing what he has blessed you with right now, managing what you have right now. Okay. And so the whole hustle mentality or hustle culture that we live in, it's going to burn us out. It's going to leave us depleted. It's going to leave us drained. We're going to be exhausted and we're going to be relationally overwhelmed. So God is inviting you to, again, steward the season that you are in right now. And if you haven't already, I want you to download, it's the free seasons quiz that I have. The link is in my bio. Okay. If you don't take nothing else from this live, it's free because I want to help as many people as possible. Go ahead and actually download it and you can take the quiz right now. Okay. So I want to invite you to lay that down. Whatever it is, whatever feels heavy right now, I want to invite you to lay it down. Okay. But I want to talk about the community that I've created specifically for women. Okay. It helps you steward your energy, your time, calling without burning out. And then I've also created an ebook. Okay. It gives you a rhythm that you can actually maintain. So the thing about us is learning that we do not need more discipline because we're disciplined already. You're disciplined. I'm disciplined. Valerie, you're disciplined. Okay. My people on YouTube, Facebook, you're disciplined already. But what you do need is a rhythm. You need a divine rhythm to help you. And I want to help you create that divine rhythm. Okay. With creating a divine rhythm, you will have peace. You will be able to rest. You'll be able to actually spend time with your family. You don't have to be in this whole hustle mentality, the hustle culture that we currently live in. And so I invite you again, to go ahead and click the link so that you can, in my bio, to take the seasons quiz to identify the season that you are in, so that you can start to identify the season that you are in and then start to build on the season that you are in. So we have 4 seasons, right? So we have the spring, we have winter, we have summer, and we have fall. Okay? We got spring, winter, summer, fall. So, with that being said, we also have 4 domains. We have our spiritual domain, we have our emotional domain, we have relational, and we have our financial domain in life. So, typically, if you are out of sync in your emotional and your spiritual life, everything else is going to be off. Okay, everything else is going to be off. And so that's why it's so important for us to develop a healthy rhythm for our emotional and our spiritual life. Have you ever heard that wealth is spiritual? It truly is. Because when we get aligned, when we start seeking God and seeking clarity, really, on where we should be spiritually and emotionally, when we're emotionally healthy, when we are emotionally and we are spiritually healthy, we start to see the fruits in the rest of our lives. So, in the rest of the domains, okay, which is your relational domain, your relationships with your spouses, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family, friends. You start to see the fruit in those relationships. Okay. And then in your financial life, okay. Yes, at Dougie Freshness. Yes, you're spiritual, right? So you start to see the fruits in all those, the rest of the domains of your life. And you start to get clear. You start to get clarity. And this is what's so important, right? And so we have to get aligned. We have to bring it back to God, and we have to align with the principles that He has for us, okay? And so I invite you to go ahead and download the seasons quiz, which is in my bio, so that you can actually identify the season that you are in, whether you're a male or a female. So the community, again, is for women. However, if you are male, I feel like this can also help you as well to identify the season that you are in so that you can start thriving. So, as we have spring, winter, summer, and fall. Okay. So in our winter season, I want to talk about the seasons for a bit, the 4 seasons of life. Okay. Because you can go through those in each domain in your life. So within the 4 seasons, again, in your winter season, you are resting, you are reflecting, and you are healing in your winter season of life. Okay. Can anybody throw a hand up? Just let me know if that's you, if you are in your winter season of life. Okay. Hey, Miss Brooks, come on in. So, if you are in that winter season, no matter which domain, okay? Um, next. So, after your winter comes your spring. So, in the spring, we should be planting, planning, and initiating. What does that look like, Dominique? So that looks like you working the plan, you creating a plan, you having a strategy for whatever it is that you want or the goal that you want to get to. Again, we're talking about the spring season of life. We're talking about the plan in spring. We should be, again, planning, planting, and we should be initiating relationships. Maybe it's in your business. You should be initiating relationships, right? So in your friendships, maybe you need new friends, you need more friends, or you're like, okay, I have a lot of friends that I can go out with, but I don't have a lot of friends that I can go up with, okay, that I can go to the next level with. And so if that's you, again, in your spring season, you should be reaching out to people, getting in community, getting in a community. This is so important. When you can get in a community that pushes you forward, that helps you thrive, this is so important to your life in general. I think in life has taught us that we can do it by ourselves. Can I be real for a moment? It has taught us that we don't need nobody, that we can survive alone. Okay? But I want to let you know that, yeah, you can survive, but that's about all you can do. When you're doing it by yourself, that's about all we can do is survive, because God did not intend for us to be alone or to do life alone. He did not. He said, it is not good for man to be alone. So what? I will make him a suitable helper. And that's in all areas. So that's in your spousal, in your romantic relationships. That's in your friendships, right? That is also in your family. And then also, can I add that sometimes family may not even be there the way you want them to, but sometimes, again, God sends us people that feel like family. And so he gives us what we need. He gives us exactly what we need. So I want to encourage you that if you're doing life alone, I encourage you to get and find a community. Find people, find your tribe. If it's your family, great. If it's not, right? If it's the family is toxic, if they're not helpful, or if certain individuals you have to create boundaries from, that is okay as well. But what I'm saying is that we have to find community. We have to have people who will push us into purpose. We need purpose pushers. Come on, somebody, okay? And so that's the thing. All right. Lastly, I want to take a moment to just tell you how you knowing the season that you're in. Oh, sorry. So I have to move to the next season, right? So what's the next season? It's summer, right? It's summer. So let's talk about our summer season. Our summer, we should be in action mode. So after we've planted in the spring, we initiated those relationships, those business relationships in our businesses, or maybe even in our financial domain, right? So after we've initiated again a budget or putting into place what we need, now we should be into action mode. This is where summer comes in. This is where you're going to start to see some things sprout, okay? Because not always in spring you'll see some fruit, but summer is where it really begins, right? So summer is where the action happens. And summer is truly where, if you are not intentional on your relationships, the people that you have in your circle, if you are not intentional about who you have around you or your environment, it will really, really affect your fall, which is the stewardship, which is the one that everybody wants to get to, right? Fall, which is stewardship. Okay, that's how are we taking care of the fruit. All right, but this is our summer. This is action. How are we building? How do we build this? Okay, and that's what I want to really tell you, that in your summer season, that's when the action is happening. You're working the plan. You're starting to see the fruit. You're starting to see the building, the fruits of your labor, whether that's in your spiritual life, your emotional, your financial, or your relational life. In the summer, you should really start to see things, right? And things should start coming together in that summertime. And then we get to the fall, which the fall is our stewardship. And that's the last season. That's the season that a lot of people, because some of us miss. And I would say in a season of my life, in a time of my life, I missed the fall season in some of those areas too. Because what happened was, it took so long for me to get from my winter, right, to my summer season, my fall season. I was like, Lord, like, what is this? And so that's how I birthed this season's framework, knowing the season that you are in and giving you strategy on how to thrive through each season of life and through each domain, because this is important. This is how we manage and steward what God has given us. And as we manage and steward what God has given us, it opens it up for Him to give us more. It opens it up for Him to trust us with more. It opens it up for Him to really sit with us and teach us some things and lay into our spirit and get out of us what He put in us. Okay, that's what the seasons really are about. right? And so if we know that the God is the God of seasons, we have to trust him through each one of them and to know that each season plays a role, that everything that's happening to us is happening for us and it's building something in us. Again, everything that's happening to us is happening for us and it's building something in us. Okay? Everything that's happening to us is happening for us and it's building something in us. So I want that to be an encouragement because when we go through life seasons, often we think that God has forgotten about us. We think that he doesn't know what we're going through, that he doesn't feel the pain, that he doesn't feel the sorrow, the grief, the worry, and that he can't do anything about it. But the God we serve is a sovereign God. He's a good God, and he's the God of seasons. And so I want you to know that no matter what you're going through, no matter where you are, there is language and there is identity for the season that you are going through. Okay. And I want you to download the link in my bio for the seasons quiz. And in that seasons quiz, it will give you, hi, Kira, it'll give you exactly what you need to identify the season that you are in so that you can thrive through each season of life. Okay. That's what this live is for, to let you know that no matter where you are, no matter where you see yourself, no matter what season that you are in, that God is the God of seasons and he will hold you through each one. And I want to help you create a healthy rhythm so that God can hold you through each one of the seasons that you are in. So if you haven't already, again, take the quiz, click the link in my bio. It gives you, it's a free seasons quiz that I have created to give to you for you. All right. So that God can get the thing that he wants. He wants to get it out of you. All right. And God does his work in seasons. All right. And if you're a woman, I especially want to invite you to the community, the She Thrives community. And this community is filled with women who are thriving through the seasons of life and who really want to see God do a work in them, who really want to see God shine through them. And so this is again for women who are purpose pushers, right? If you are a know of a woman that knows her purpose, or maybe she doesn't, and she needs a little bit of assistance or needs someone to help get it out of her, this is the community for you, okay? Because life happens in seasons, and I want to be able to help you and so that you can thrive through each one. All right? So y'all, that has been my time. I actually spoke a little bit over, but if you have any questions, please send me a DM. I'm live currently on all platforms. That's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So I truly hope that, again, if you didn't get anything out of this, go ahead and download the seasons quiz so that you can identify the exact season that you are in, to give you language for where you are so that you can start thriving through each season of life. Okay. I love you guys. Be blessed. And I hope to see you. I hope to see you soon. All right. Love y'all.